Descent into Darkness, a Call of Cthulhu campaign.
Hello and welcome back to Deathwatch's Call of Cthulhu campaign, Descent into Darkness, Season 4, The Lost City of Pillars. This is episode 38, and I am Keeper Travis. And we are in the end game now. I won't say how many episodes, who knows? Because that seems like a curse to add more episodes, but we're in that window as Mr. Thompson and Mr. Wentworth enter a maze of some kind underneath IREM of the pillars, and Mr. Stanton is out harvesting the goods from the other encampment to bring them back to yours. But before we get back to it, let's get an introduction from our investigators.
I'm Brandon, still playing Bartholomew Wentworth. Now I'm down here alone, but for Jackson Elias with these odd mummy alien reptile creatures.
I'm Chris, I'm playing Charles Stanton, a man who's come into much dynamite and so little time to use it.
I'm John, and if you don't know who I'm playing yet, then you haven't been paying attention.
All right. Who is he?
I was just going to say, he doesn't even know his own name half the time.
Tom Joseph.
Tom
Josephson.
Okay, so we'll start off over at the encampment of the Malcolms, where Mr. Stanton, you are there with your prisoner, Malcolm Green, you've come to understand his name is, and you're gathering up the supplies, awaiting the return of Anwar and the camels, which you see now. They've come back in a small group, leading, actually give me a luck roll, we'll see if they brought a tidy supply of camels for you.
My luck's getting kind of crazy.
Hard
success.
Nice. So lucky. Everything's going up for Stanton when he's in a bad situation. All right, so yeah, they've brought a number of camels, most of the hale and hardy ones, it looks like. And a small group leading them is Anwar, Victor, and 5 of the Yemeni to help herd the camels and load stuff on them. So you think these are wine barrels that they've stored this water in. You think a camel can probably manage to take one. It's about, I forget the amount of liters right now, but I know it equals to about 400 pounds, so it's pretty close to their max carry weight. And with that luck roll, you do have enough camels to get all, how many did I say were in there, 20 or 25?
Luck roll?
Anybody remember?
I don't know.
I have it written down here somewhere.
I think 20.
Just quietly search for it.
While I was waiting for them, and maybe in between talking with Malcolm 1 here, I was maybe going to check, or have Marco maybe check the tents to see if there's like any canteens. We can give those to the Bedouin who are going to be sent off into the Hammer. so they can fill their water canteens and have something, Godspeed.
I think the ones that you guys had captured the last time we had an interaction with them, they insisted on following whoever sprang them. I think it was you, right, Mr. Wentworth?
Yeah.
So they have done so unless you barred them and made them stay here.
I thought they were all barred.
Yeah, because they needed water and stuff.
And food.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were supposed to go back to camp.
Okay. Right. I guess if we're bringing them back to camp, then, yeah.
You can still march them off into the desert. Go this way if you want.
No, the only stipulation I'd do is they have to say the words before they get put back that way.
Yeah, I'll assume you would put that at the top of the thing before you hand them any canteen or something. Like, don't want to waste the resources.
Then the other thing would be dynamiting the chest.
Oh, okay.
Which I still want to do, just because I don't want anyone coming back through it. And I'll ask Malcolm, yeah, that chest, how's it work? Where'd it go? What happens if I drop a dynamite stick into that?
Well, it's the same thing that happened to our nice little tunnel over there, is it'll cease to function. But it is called a gate box.
Will the dynamite go through the gate?
Not unless you know how to operate a gate box.
I unfortunately don't. Do you?
Nope, not my strong suit.
Weren't exactly meant for surviving this, most likely, based on how quickly your boss left you.
Yeah, it looks that way. Just goes to show you can't trust anybody, not even yourself, it turns out. But yes, it will destroy this end of the gate box, and he won't be able to come here. Although he is a man of many different contingency plans, I would be aware of that in the future.
I'll take it under advisement.
There's one thing, a small request, or perhaps I need to seek absolution first.
Do you want to go into the box?
No, that wasn't the request. The Malcolm, running this whole operation, he had a book in his tent. As I understand it, it was on the worms. I'd be curious to have a look at that, if you'd allow me.
Marco, go see if you can find this book.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
All right.
I'll drag the chest a little ways towards the edge of camp and unlock it. I think we put something through the lock.
Yeah, to keep it from opening.
Yeah, I'll throw a lit dynamite stick in there and relock it and give a quick jog back towards Malcolm.
20 Malcolm spring out when you open it. No. Yeah, wiring it up to blow is no problem for you. I mean, it's not really wired up to blow. You're light one, throw it in there after you move it away. And it explodes, except the lid goes sky high and then
Lands on Malcolm?
No, it just lands out somewhere in the desert. As far as the rest of the stuff, gathering canteens, there are some food items here you could add to the load.
Mm-hmm.
Although it would be stretching it with all the water.
Also warn Victor to be careful when going back over those hills. Some of these weird sand beasties are about. That worm went off to the north. I know you don't know about that, but there's a worm, giant one. You can ask Mr. Thompson about it. It's off to the north, so if you feel any vibrations, seek the rocks.
We heard vibrations all the way here, Senor. But but he's kind of looking with an understanding of what it could mean. He's looking it around, not like a frightened person, but the sort of well-honed fear a soldier has when they know there's something to be afraid of. He's looking at any possible point these sandworms could come from, which turns out to be every possible point you're currently standing on. He doesn't feel any vibrations now, though, so a little bit of relief washes over him. Was it Marco you sent off to find the book? Yeah, he does come back with a book.
Yeah, I'll take it from him.
It's the Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, I'll open it.
Yeah.
Give it a quick peruse.
So it's, I believe it's written in English. Has a title on it.
Well, the joke's on you. I can't read. The only thing I know is numbers. Money goes up.
And directions. So it's, you can see the title on it, Dwellers of the Deep Desert. According to information like the foreword or the author's note, it was written in 1875 by a David Fischner, and claimed to have encountered such horrors firsthand while part of the French Foreign Legion in Africa, Middle East, and some brief chapters on North America and Australia. That's just a quick skim. You think it would take you, maybe 8 hours to skim through it totally?
I'm looking for weird diagrams, other languages.
So there is, as you're just flipping through the pages, you see diagrams on that sort of fit the description of what Mr. Wentworth said about the sand-dwelling people that kind of look like the Bedouin, but were not the Bedouin.
Okay.
The weird, they look like they were made of sand, basically. It's like a trail sketch of it. You're used to seeing because you've been on lots of expeditions, so it's not from a professional artist, but some sort of academic with the ability to sketch.
All right, I'll pull my best your dad impression. No spells in here, huh?
Well, you also see one of the sandworm too, and there is odd bits of language with the distinct look of a formula next to these sketches. So,
All right, I'll tear those out.
okay.
And then I'll hand the book to Malcolm. So,
He's like, looks at it and he's like, trade?
really?
Yes, really. He's like, I'll take the sketches, you take the...
I'll take it.
I was messing with you.
I'll take it under advisement. Because I'm not a monster, Malcolm, no matter what everyone in my life might say.
Right.
So I'm not completely willing to just send you off into the desert or let you die of thirst like that cruel boss of mine, Mr. Wentworth. I believe negotiations are always open.
Well, the reason I wanted to look at that book is one thing I heard about these sandworms. I described them as a apex predator, not the politically charged super predator that I used last time, but is also a synonym for apex predator. There, we're in the clear. They're, you don't think of a bear as having a lot of intelligence, or at least, outside of a sort of crafty animal like, but according to my brief conversation about these, they do have some manner of intelligence. I was just curious if we were really out of the danger with it.
I hope not.
Well, you're an interesting fellow.
Well, regardless of whether or not we see it again, I plan to be out this way at some point. Hopefully to track it down. You can't let such a magnificent creature go unkilled.
I don't know how to respond to you, sir.
So, Malcolm, what exactly was it? You're an astronomer?
Astrophysicist.
Astrophysicist. Gobbledygook. What exactly was your job out here? Why were you brought out? What were you overseeing, Malcolm?
Well, a lot of the legend of Irem, spoke of stars being in certain alignment, and I was here to verify or spot that fact, which we did. Unfortunately, it could not guide us all the way.
Is there anything beyond that once you found Irem? Because there's a good chance that it could be vanishing at some point.
That's what I've come to understand.
Yeah.
But not that our dear leader revealed to me.
So you're useless.
Well, maybe. Maybe not. I'm not going to try to convince you of it. You're going to do what you want to do anyways. If you think you can use an astrophysicist, then you can use your own mind to come to a conclusion.
Well, you might be useful as a type of bloodhound. How much did you like your boss?
Well, I wasn't one of the ones, plotting to take over the whole thing. Mainly because I saw how that went for the first few that tried. Didn't go well. I don't know what he knows or how he's able to see around corners like he did, but I figured he'd see it coming if I did anything like that. So I was loyal to the degree that I thought it would keep me alive. And of course, I want to see Irem. That's been part of my life's work as well. Maybe the thing that unites us, even elevator operator Matthew, who read about it in a pulp magazine and became transfixed with it. Thought there was going to be gold and pearls when we got here.
I'll tell you what, Malcolm. You promised to lead me to your boss, to be loyal to me, and lead me to your boss. I'll show you Irem.
Well, I could make that promise. There is a like a look like that conveys, but what good is a promise in the desert, right? A man dying of thirst will promise anything. But he's looking at like, you got to know that a promise isn't anything, but I'll make it. His mouth says, yes, of course. Take me to Irem and I'm your man. But his eyes seem to convey, what's the catch?
I thought I was pretty obvious. I want to kill your boss. And I'm going to use you to get me back within range of him. I figure you know enough about him.
We could go through the gate. Oh, wait, we can't do that anymore.
Yeah, you got a little bit of a sassy mouth on you.
What are you going to do about it? Kill me?
Well, it's better than leaving you here to...
I guess you will, won't you? Rest in peace, Malcolm, he says to one of the corpses. Look, all I can say is I do want to see Irem, and I'm jumping at the chance that you offer. As to whether or not we can kill my boss, I'll be your man for as long as that arrangement works out.
That's the same arrangement I have with all of my men. Wentworth isn't going to like this, and that means I am ecstatic. I'll unbind him from the post that he was tied to, and I'll extend my hand. And
yeah, he
Charles
offers
Stanton.
Okay, and he says, Malcolm Green. There's a weird tap on the fleshy part of your palm when he shakes your hand. You don't know what it means, though.
Mm-hmm.
But Wentworth would know what it meant, because Lord Stourton did that to him when they shook hands long ago. But you can brush it off as, I don't know, maybe, yeah, he was bound up pretty good.
Yep.
You know, he rubs his wrists, and then it could be a nervous twitch. But he's like, I could have sworn, never mind. He does say that part out loud.
Well, anyway, your boss offended me by surviving. I do not miss my shots, and I aim to correct that at some point. But for now, focus on Irem. You will not touch a weapon while in camp.
What a relief. He stuffed that rifle in my hand and expected me to defend this thing. I thought nobody was going to be here, because that's a reasonable thought to have. It's in the middle of the biggest continuous desert in the world.
And it's why most of you are now dead.
Yeah, he didn't see it. He didn't see it.
But until then, I expect you to work for me. I will put you on the payroll, and you will receive your payment once we get out of this hellhole.
Yeah, rubbing his wrists, he just is like a real skeptical look in your direction. Like, what is your angle here? I don't understand. It couldn't just be killing
I've
my
been
boss.
as forthright as possible.
Yeah.
What
It always
do you-
confuses devious people.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm still unsure whether or not I should blindfold you for actually the direction of Irem. You and your boss share no connections.
Well, as I understand it, it wouldn't matter whether you blindfolded me or not. Irem has drawn the people to it that was foretold.
Perhaps they'll strike you dead when we enter.
And we were thinking that perhaps we weren't supposed to be there. I don't know. He would ramble on about some blind idiot god at the beginning of time spattering or spewing all matter into existence, and rocks and stuff colliding off one another, all to get to this point when he was speaking of our great destiny. We were just one rock further down the line, shot right at Irem. Apparently not. Apparently that was you. Or me, if Irem will let me.
You get used to it after a while, Malcolm.
I guess so.
All right.
Well, what do you need from me, boss? And he gives you that big smile that you see in his token.
First off, we don't take kindly to smiling in this company.
Well, it's sort of a flaw of my whole party. It'd be difficult for me to control.
Anyway.
And he follows that with a big smile.
Anyway, I've had enough of this conversation. Vincent, Camels, we're taking this one into town or back to camp with us. We have to check on Mr. Thompson and Wentworth, make sure they're still kicking. Make sure you pick up this dynamite as well. Take as many trips as we need to.
All right, yeah, so they'll start loading everything with the Yemeni to help. That goes pretty quick. It doesn't take you long to laying down all the camels that don't have riders. Do you want to focus on just the water first?
Yeah.
And then what you can grab? Water, dynamite, other stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So there's some more 308 ammo here. Is that the right?
Yeah. 303?
303, yeah.
303 and 30-6 are our big ones.
Yeah, they have the 303 here that you could take. So yeah, we'll do that. I think you can get pretty much all the water and all the dynamite and then some of the ammo.
And then a lot of that water is going to end up going to some of the camels. We need to try to keep as many of them as alive as possible. And then...
All right, so you guys start traveling back northeast to Irem, and we'll switch over to Mr. Wentworth and Mr. Thompson below the City of Pillars. One sec. So we'll have a little flashback scene as you were being lowered down where Nigel Stedford says, "Are you sure you don't want me to come after you?"
Right, yeah, because he didn't want to go down.
Not right away, yeah.
Yeah.
He said he needed some tea to recover properly.
Yeah, no.
You'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I'll wait till sunrise unless Mr. Stanton tells me something different when he gets back. And then I fear we can't wait any longer should you not return, and I'll lead everybody out.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
We should be back by then.
So then we flash forward to a few moments later where everybody's losing their marbles. Matvey was down there with you as well. He just didn't factor into the wrap-up last time, but he was part of this dazed journey down to Irem. So the last thing that was said was Professor Ahmed, who said, let them go. We can go together.
Mm-hmm.
And currently that's what Mr. Thompson was doing, but only for one round. It was just insanity. So he makes it back to the rope. And from your view, Thompson, as you start to put your foot through the loop and pull yourself up, you feel a hand on your shoulder. And when you look, it's Thaddeus again. Although with Thaddeus crowding, the bottom of the well is like Mr. Arbogast and some of the dead Yemeni. Not only from your group, but ones that you've killed. You see, like they're wearing the Bedouin garb.
The Malcolms.
And they're just lining the walls. And Thaddeus says, "You're right, Mr. Thompson, to be afraid of the wind. That's when they come and when they leave. But that's not until sunup, okay? So you're good for hours. Don't worry about it." And when he's telling you this, that overriding need to get away from any possible wind, this new phobia you've picked up, it flees from you, and you can control yourself as you wish.
This is all, I'll let out a relieved chuckle and say, "You're right, Thaddeus. Of course you're right." And pat his shoulder and walk past him back to join Mr. Wentworth.
As part of the synchronization of heavenly bodies and ones in your solar system, is midnight when you guys descend into the well. So that took about 5 minutes, but we'll go back to you. You're still dealing with Curtis Cooper, who has violence in his heart. He's going to keep all of you from going any further, even if he has to kill you. So currently, he's been tugging on your arms, right? Mm-hmm. If you want to give me a spot hidden or a psychology, we'll do both. We'll do a combined roll.
All right, let's do spot hidden and then psychology. Success on spot hidden, fail on psychology.
Okay, so he drops, he quits trying to pull your arms, and he tries to go and reach for that peacemaker that's at your belt and pull it out on you. Of course, you see that coming, so you're free to try to stop it. He's a very small fellow, only 19 years old, so he has a -2 build.
Okay.
Like he's even small for his age, right? His ears are a premonition of what's to come, perhaps. He finishes growing. So you have whatever you decide to do to him. If it's a maneuver, you have, no, it's penalties. So he has 2 penalties to try to do it on you. So he's trying to grab your gun.
Yeah, so is there a maneuver to, judo him and, put him in a wrist lock or something, right?
Yeah. He fumbled, so he basically makes himself a toy for you to play with, just as the lack of coordination. So whatever result you want to happen, it can happen because of his fumble.
Yeah, so I'll just do the thing where you
tie him up somehow,
flip them and they land on the ground and control his wrist,
Okay, so you get control of him.
Cooper.
And you saw, Jackson and Matt Vare in the background there. Jackson had his hand on his gun, like he was getting prepared to draw it, but he sees you have control of it. However, Matt Vare's still advancing. Give me another spot hidden in psychology.
Hard success, spot hidden. Fumble, psychology.
Okay, so he's advancing on Curtis. You see in his hand he has a small blade, and he's coming up to Curtis. When you glance up at his eyes to see what his intent is, you don't read anything murderous there.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
So yeah, I saw Jackson he was
Yeah.
reaching and he's approaching, so I'll just, put my hand up and say, I got him. He's just a little guy. And then I'll turn back to...
That doesn't stop Matvey, though. He continues, and he raises up that small blade, and he's going to jam it right into Curtis's head.
The top of his head?
Yeah.
I guess at this point, then I let go of Curtis and try to control that knife. Matvey, get a hold of yourself.
All right, let's see. He's got no build problem there, so... All right, he just had a regular failure, but you can still roll against that to try to get control of the knife. You have no bonus or penalty on it that I'm aware of.
So it's what, like a brawl?
Yeah.
Just poke him in his third eye. Nudge the coin out of the way.
Hard success?
Yeah, so you catch it at the same time with the stop, his... your lack of control on Curtis. He tries to do the gun again, which you'll be able to defend, but that one will have a penalty, right? So let's see. And he still has 2 penalties on his.
I'm just picturing you going about the bossing everything. So you're like, get him in a wrist lock, calm down, and then the guy pulls the knife and you just bap that out of his hand.
So you still had one of his arms. With the other one, he tries to go for it again. He failed, so... You can roll your brawl to stop him again with 1 penalty for the successive defensives, basically.
Okay. I'll shout out to Jackson for a little help.
He's coming in, though.
These guys are both crazy.
All right, you have the higher skill, so you roll damage.
What is that?
For your unarmed attack.
1d3.
It should be in your combat tab. You should have a separate thing for it, too.
In combat? I don't.
You don't have unarmed attack?
No, I have my Bowie knife.
Well, yeah, you can roll 1d3. If your build is 0, then your damage bonus is likely also 0.
Okay.
Maybe I have it as a...
I guess it'd be the brawl one, right? So
2. Yeah, the circumstance is such that, we're kind of doing like a no-fail situation. Remember we talked about only 38 sessions ago?
Mm-hmm.
So, you both failed. He doesn't have the ability to succeed at his thing, but you have to react in such a degree that you harm him a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And but not much, just 2 points. Not that he has a ton of hit points, but you hear him. He's like as you're twisting.
Yeah,
like you twisted that
Yeah.
wrist you had a hold of to get him away from your gun.
Yeah, if that's an arm, average arm has 4 hit points. He just halved it.
So Jackson comes up behind to get Matvey off your back. Meanwhile, Matvey's like, no, you don't understand. It will, he will see things more clearly. You must let me. You must let me.
No.
Yes, I completely agree with
Put
this.
the knife down, Matvey.
Everyone needs more holes in their skulls.
Yeah, somebody's going to get one.
See, Jackson has good brawl.
No, dang. He's been fighting in some, oh man, what were they called? Roadhouses playing where blues is playing. He's got a straight razor in his shoe or something. You know it.
Where'd the roll go? The heck?
What you looking for?
I was fairly certain that I rolled. There it is. Oh, dang. But,
it would go to Elias, right?
Yeah, Jackson, he's the aggressor in this case. So Jackson has just got behind him and wrapped up his arms. And so he's struggling against that, but Jackson hasn't held for now. So you're standing in this situation. The Professor Ahmed stares on passively with his empty eye socket. And at this stage, you can come back in, Mr. Thompson.
So what's the scene that I walk into?
So there's some sort of tussle. Mr. Wentworth has a pretty good hold on Curtis Cooper, who's kind of wilting under this wrist lock or whatever Brandon has on him, twisting it behind his hand. And then Jackson is behind Matvey Vanya, keeping him held down. Matvey still has a knife in his hand, but his hands are cinched up so he can't do anything with it. And he's saying something about, no, you must let him see. And, of course, you still see all the dead that have traveled with you to Irem, lining the hallways.
Can I do a psychology? See if...
Yeah. What's your goal?
See if I could figure a way to snap them out of it.
Yeah, go for it.
1920s, a good
It's
hard
a
slap.
hard success.
Well, this break is pretty short, so it's just a matter of, letting them, they'll work it out here momentarily, as long as you keep them contained and they don't get the opportunity to do what they do. So maybe a little more help on either Wentworth or Jackson's end.
Help out next.
Who looks like they
Yeah.
need it the most?
Well,
Well, maybe Jackson, because Curtis is a diminutive man and
Yeah.
Wentworth is not.
Okay. As I will go over and join in with Curtis.
What do you want to do? Just add another layer of him breaking free or plucking that knife out of his hand?
Yeah, I'll try to disarm him.
Yeah, as long as you don't fumble your brawl roll, you should be able to do that.
No.
Oh,
Fail.
McVeigh put the
No,
knife
You got it.
in Curtis's head.
And so they're like wild animals pent up. They're thrashing this way and that without a care for whether they harm themselves. But eventually it subsides, and all that's left is the sound of heavy breathing in this underground area, which,
Triggers John's new phobia.
yeah, and Curtis, he starts crying under this intense pain you got him. And he's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Wentworth. I don't know what came over me, but you got to listen. We got to get out of here. It's not... Look at this. Have you ever seen anything like this? And, looking at it again, it's not just these enshrined beings in the cases. It's that this... Like, you were out and there was stone pillars that look like a city of antiquity. But below here, these are metal halls, like 6 by 6 square, with a very particular order to how these things are enshrined. This is not like a place you've seen anywhere,
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll pull him up and straighten out his clothes,
Yeah.
and say, look, you got to keep it together. Okay, we're not going anywhere.
It's like I'm
You came down here and we're going to see it through.
okay
Understand?
now, Mr. Wentworth. You can let me go, I promise.
All right, well, get that camera out and start taking pictures. That's what I brought you for.
And then he holds up his hand where
Don't-
every finger's going a different way. It's like, I can't do it, Mr. Wentworth. I'm sorry.
That's when Wentworth just eats his hand.
Let me fix that for you.
You just straighten them all back up. All right, let me move you guys to all right, so this is not what you would call this is more a representative map. Are you guys on a map now?
Yeah.
You can see a dimly lit area. So if you look under your tokens where there's that tile that says you are in the entrance, you see many paths going off this way and that. That's what it's like in reality, this actual dungeon isn't that way. I wanted to avoid like a dungeon crawl in the D&D sense. So you just know if you're in this room, you're in the entrance part of these tunnels. So yeah, you see many different branches going off, and Professor Ahmed at this stage doesn't seem to be like saying, oh, this is the way we go, in fact, he's sort of shrunk up against the wall, his good eye darting from each one of these enshrined beings to the next, and he's not saying anything. So you just have all these ways you can go, but you can give me a spot hidden and a listen as you're standing there, and you've got everybody calm, including Matvey. May I have my knife back, Mr. Thompson?
As I'll give it back to him. As I got a hard success, listen, extreme spot hidden.
Okay.
Fail, spot hidden, success, listen.
All right, and so in some of these passages, heading off to the east, you think you see, it's dark otherwise besides the light that you brought, but you think you see a faint glow. In fact, it's kind of reminiscent of the one you saw when you looked into that big crack up above.
Oh, right.
That was in the depths.
Yeah, I think that's the way we need to go, Thompson.
So that's the spot one. Those, was it
Oh, never
Thompson got the listen?
mind. I didn't see
No,
that.
you got the listen, yeah.
I don't see where to go, Thompson.
So in a passage going towards the south, you hear what sounds like faint whispering.
I hear faint whispering to the south, Thompson.
Does it
As
say,
I do too.
"Took my baby"?
I think that's the way we need to go.
And I saw something as well. We should go that way.
Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them.
But I'm trusting my ears
I can take
as
them
well.
out for you.
What are you talking about, Mr. Wentworth? I have this whole slew of helpful friends that we made along the way. Don't you see them?
Well, whichever way you want to go. It's up to you, Thompson.
Jackson says that's the way we went to the south. That's where the Merles are that I was telling you about, if they can be described that way. But that's where they are.
Yeah.
In which direction was the light?
To the east.
Okay. Well, make your
Those-
pick.
Let's go. They've already explored to the south with the Whispering and the Merles. Was Thaddeus, which way do you suggest?
Back?
Mm-hmm.
No. Oh, wait, this is Thaddeus, not
Yeah.
Ghost. When you go to ask him, he's not there at the moment, but you see a bunch of the silent, dead Yemeni, as well as Mr. Arbogast.
Which direction are they?
They're like standing against the walls, almost like soldiers at attention. Although all the wounds that killed them, they remain. So some of them are pretty grisly, like Vickers.
Are they lining
Got
it
chewed up
to
by the
the
Vickers.
south or
Arbogast is
east
he,
or
like,
north?
Just in this passage that you're in, and they like go back towards the well.
Oh,
And even as you look back, you see a darkened shape stepping out off of the rope. It's another of these deceased figures that apparently have journeyed to Irem with you.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
they're not going to help you.
Let's go to the east where we saw the light.
That's what I wanted to do the whole time. I manipulated you into choosing that. All right. I'll tell everybody to stay behind me and Thompson, and we'll take the lead.
All right, so you guys move eastward, and here the tunnel that you're following, where you're seeing this glow, abruptly comes to an end at a huge, and you only get a sense by the fact that there's no walls anymore bordering you, just, a few feet away, that it's some sort of yawning abyss. And if the color of the glow is correct to what you saw through that crack, then, you would know that there was some big cavity just below the crack. So maybe that's what it is. But this glow comes from a mist that's everywhere down here, and it stops your light after only a few feet. It's like walking into a thick fog. So whoever's in the lead, they would disappear rather quickly if they continued, but I assume you stop short when you see the mist. You can see the wall at this opening to your left and the right stretch for a little while before it's obscured by this glowing mist.
Well, now what, Thompson? We could walk right off the edge of a cliff if we keep going through this.
As we could, but I don't believe we will.
It could also turn you inside out. You don't know what mist does.
As we've got to keep it going.
All right, you go first.
All right. As I'll
stay
continue on.
Just straight into the mist?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you continue on for a little while, but then you realize that the floor of this part of the underground area runs out, and you see, like a chasm, or what you assume is a chasm, because all you get is, like this acoustic sense of an opening where the floor ends.
Yeah.
And so you're standing before that. You can't, see any further down into the chasm than you could in front of you, so.
Dead end.
Yep. Looks like it. All right. I guess we go back to the south then.
Uh-oh. Which direction?
Don't know why you'd have the light mists. I go back to the west and then to the south. Don't know why you would have the mist to light our way if that wasn't the right way, though.
Yeah, look at
It could be, but you're just blindly walking into the center of it. Like you haven't really done. It's kind of like if I go and I look for something in a room and I don't immediately spot it with my eyes.
Well, no, you gotta go and stand in the middle and you cast about, and if you don't see it, then it's not in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, were there any branching paths?
Oh yeah, tons of them. Like if you remember that entrance tile, it was just going every which way.
No, I mean in here.
Oh, like you can't. The problem is your line of sight.
Yeah.
You know that there was an entry you came out of.
All right.
I mean, somebody might think to go back
really hard but just don't make any noise doing it, or I might get scared.
Yeah.
And, to the way you came in. Yeah, Jackson's like, well, why don't we go back and we can pick either the left way where we came in or the right and just keep our hand on the wall and walk around it.
Yeah. Yeah, let's try that.
Or just go pick one of the other ways, whatever you guys want to do
Yeah, we could
Let's
try that.
That's a good idea.
this time. And it is a bit of traveling. So with the altercation in this, we get to about 12:20. So you didn't travel too far, and you walk straight enough line in return. Well, let's do a group luck roll. I think that's you these days, Brandon. Has the lowest luck.
Failure.
Okay.
Can he take the left number instead of the right number for his target?
Right. Just a sec here. Okay. So here, I'll move you, Brandon. You kind of come out of an entryway like that, and there's some paths to the south. Let me move the rest of you up. So you're not sure about your direction, but you do come to an opening that looks very much like the one you came out of. But when you come up to it, like your orientation feels all wrong somehow. It's like you didn't expect it to be where it was, if that makes sense. It almost seemed like you went further east somehow because there was a wall where there wasn't supposed to be one. You're just like, well, maybe we got turnarounds, the obvious explanation.
Yeah.
But there you guys are. And you're free to move like where the path isn't blocked, however you'd like. Just take the torch with you. Let me copy one of those.
If you let yourself on fire, you become the torch. You embody it.
So which way are we direction?
Well, you see an
are we
obvious path to the south.
going? Okay. Do you want to go that way?
Yeah.
All right. We'll going to the south now.
Okay. Just a sec here. Give Chris a token. He can look through the eyes of Matt Vey.
Should give me a dead, like one of the spirits.
Right. Okay. See. Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna head off to the south. Go ahead.
Because I don't have a token to move.
Yeah, you do. It's right here. Do you not see it?
I see it.
All right.
We're in the Hall of Murals. No light for you guys.
You're not supposed to read that.
No, you can read it. That's fine. It would be like what you might refer to it as if you were making a map or something. So as you walk down this passageway that you entered into where you had this sense that the orientation was wrong, you see the return of the glass encased mummy type things, reptilian mummies. But after a while they stop, and in their place are these murals that at first you think are painted in vivid colors, but it must be something else, the way that they're shown on the wall or whatever. It's not quite like a painting. You don't really, have the idea of what you would describe it as. But nevertheless, that's what is on each side of the wall as you're traveling into this area.
What are the images?
Well, generally speaking, they depict figures that resemble these enshrined mummies, as well as a city of white pillars that you think must be Irem. Underneath the murals is a strange writing, unlike any you have seen before, although you, Mr. Thompson, recognize it as Aklo. And as you're walking down there with, your lantern held up, you see that they depict a history or a narrative of some kind as you go. So the first murals you encounter, they depict the sun or daytime, you think, and most of those first ones include the great city with the gleaming white pillars under like a starry night sky. And there's an odd effect when you look at it. If Mr. Stanton had been there, it would be reminiscent of when he was under the pyramid, although that was an effect of the light playing off of the crystallized rock that they carved from. This would be more like some sort of light that was in the image itself, where the stars will twinkle a little bit. There's like a twinkling effect and a shimmering on the sun and the white pillared city. In these ones, and oddly, the city is shown next to a vast sea and surrounded by a dense jungle. Although there's no mistaking it, you think, for Irem. And over time, you see the city grow in size, and both the jungle and the sea shrink around in it. But we'll pause for now because there's quite a few of these Merles, so it'd have to be like a decision to stop and spend some time looking at them and deciphering it all.
Okay.
And that's just what you see at the first glance.
All right. Tell Curtis to start taking pictures.
Okay. Yeah, he does. He's got that. His little. Actually, I think for this one, he probably would be packing around his full camera. So he's going to start setting it up. You know, it'll take a little bit to do it. How long do you want to give him?
I don't know. I'm not in a hurry. I just came down here to keep Thompson safe. So if Thompson's holding still, then I'm fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're.
We'll give him a
what is it?
few minutes. That's what, like 2, maybe 3. I don't know how quick these cameras are.
Oh no!
Oh,
like
no,
he's
it
still
takes
loading
him-
a
it takes
flash
him,
pan.
uh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Takes him probably like 10 minutes to take one photo, maybe.
okay.
Well, we'll say 10 minutes to get the first photo, and then less after that, you know, like 3 to 5 minutes per shot.
We'll let him take probably 2 or 3. We'll call it 3.
Three pictures.
Yeah. So the initial and then 2 extras.
Okay, so we'll say that puts you at 12:45 a.m. when it's all told. But that gives you guys, you know, chances to walk up and down and look at these. And but first, let me give you a general feeling as time progresses here. You know, if you are sitting around at the table with your friends playing Dungeons and Dragons and you enter the dungeon, the DM might say you get a sense that this place is not for the living. And you get that sense, but it's not that it's not for the living. It's not for the dead either. It's not for humans.
Mm-hmm.
It was made for something else, and that works its way inside your psyche in an insidious sort of way. As though, like, even if you understood what it was for, how could you avoid whatever tools or mechanisms these creatures that are enshrined there used? Like, how could you avoid the danger of them? They must have used great tools to build a place like this.
Right.
Or if they were responsible for constructing IREM. But nevertheless, that's just sort of in the back of your head, a general dislike of being under IREM. So, many of these murals, as you look at them, often depict a huge dragon-like creature amongst the small builders of IREM. It'll be a great shadow standing in the white pillared city where you see the little builders of IREM underneath, and you get a sense they're either working his direction or conferring with this dragon-like creature. That's the best way you can come to describe it. They weren't very detailed. It's always like when this image with its shimmering white city and its twinkling lights, the shadow seems like a real shadow, and it's hard to get a definitive shape of the shadow, but you get the sense of great wings, you know, billowing. In one of the murals, you see it features an old, noble-looking human meeting with the builders. The builders are presenting him with crystals that have something like frozen lightning inside their crystalline structure. The lightning appears like sapphire, emerald, amber in color. And looking behind in the pillared city is a ziggurat upon which a large obsidian-like or ship-like structure rests, where carts of these crystalline structures are being loaded. The man bears some resemblance to the people of the area, so a Semitic type look. And you can see Professor Ahmed with his darting good eye, you know, he fixes on it and sort of his face goes wide with some sort of internal realization, but then he sort of huddles against the wall, you know, shies away from it. And as you continue to walk down, you can tell that IREM's decay becomes part of the story in these murals. So now it's surrounded by a vast desert, the one that you guys walk through, you would think. The builders, these reptilian folk, retreat to this temple, you think it is, while humans now inhabit the city. There's a brief flourishing in IREM during this time, showing a great city, but that too dwindles over the course of a few of these paintings, while the builders are shown as ghostly spirits stepping outside of their corporeal bodies. The last mural you come to depicts the gruesome fate, and this one is most striking because it is in the crude hand of a painter using paint, unlike whatever displayed these other images. And it shows the gruesome fate of a Arabian group of explorers to their underground temple. They show the ghostly forms of builders tearing them asunder. The artist went with great detail of showing like pieces and like blood streams and stuff like that, but in a garish, crude paint that even now, as you can see, is chipped and peeled here and there. The words below the mural are written in Arabic, and they read, Al-Ilah has given Irem to the builders. And you know that's the god, is what that, not Allah, it's sort of like a proto-term for it, right?
Yeah.
Which, well, you can make a Arabic roll for me, your language.
Success.
Okay. So, you know, it's sort of out of use in a sense. Its etymology would put that word like pre-Islamic Arab
Okay.
for more common usage, right?
Right. So,
Because they wouldn't refer, like a Muslim wouldn't refer to any other god but Allah, right?
Yeah.
Has abandoned us. So this is something before then. Just like it would give a little slice of where the history would be of whoever painted this.
well, who was it? I can't remember. Okay.
But so there is a stylistic congruency between all the murals, and now you've seen them all as you've walked the whole stretch of this hallway, and you hear the flash explode behind you as
Blinding.
right
Yeah.
as Curtis takes a picture.
Yeah, I wanna tell him to take a picture of the one with the crystals and the ship and everything,
Yeah.
and then the very final one.
Okay. So it'll
make
be
sure he gets those in his picture.
one amongst the first, the noble-looking human and the
Yeah.
obsidian ship, and then the final one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can give me an idea. Roll same with you, Mr. Thompson. I assume you're walking the halls
Yeah,
just in intelligence.
Success.
same.
So yeah, to summarize it, you have, you know, the origin of Irem, these enshrined mummies who, you know, Jackson in his musing, he just calls them the builders, right? That they came here, they put this place together originally while conferring or devoted to some shadowy dragon-like figure.
Yeah.
But then they, you know, the shadowy dragon-like figure stops being in the murals, and then the Irem builders dwindle in their power, and they retreat underground. And then a brief time where there was some sort of human reign in the city. And then this final one, which, you know, you read Lord Stourton's works cover to cover, both of them, so you were aware of a particular story
Yeah.
about an Arabic king in the past that sent people here. So you don't know if that's this expedition in antiquity that came to apparently being torn apart by the ghosts of the builders.
Yeah. I think it was.
Yeah. But then you can see that the mummified glass structures that the builders are enshrined in continue past the last mural. It looks like it splits off from here. You basically have two ways you could go out of the Hall of Murals.
All right. Well, let's move along. What do you say, Thompson?
I'm sorry, the audio broke there. What did you say?
Ooh, which one,
I don't know.
Brandon?
I said, let's move along. What do you say?
Oh, yes. As I think we've discovered all we will in this room. We've got the photos in case we need them.
So you see a lots of paths. That's the one you like?
Yeah. Oh, we're back at the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
We've been here before.
your sense of direction is totally thrown off, and like it doesn't seem like any way that you traveled should have ended in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're looking at a stretch of this that ends at the bottom of the well.
Well, either our eyes are cheated by some spell, or we've been walking around with a less than perfect sense of direction. What's out this way? Everybody follow me. If you think you're lost, you want to start moving really quickly.
How's you guys getting in there? Did I have it open?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I found the temple.
We're in the temple now.
Yeah, there's like I think where the door's supposed to be.
No, I left. There is what?
Oh, it's like an artifact of the lighting.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
You can see it.
but I don't let nothing stop me.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. How did that happen?
I went
Oh,
around.
yeah. Okay. That's weird.
You want us to go back out?
No, you're good. No, that's exactly what I was supposed to be. But, all right. So, yes, as you saw on the map there, you entered a spot called the Temple. And you call it so because it is huge. It's not filled with mist like the glowing abyss area that you went through. You can see the tops of the vaulted ceilings, which are over 50 feet high, and they're supported by many thick columns, that are reminiscent of the worms that you saw. Like they're a similar sort of shape, tentacle-like, right? That go from the tops to the bottom. And because of the ceiling's height and the temple's darkness, you'd have to hold your lantern up to see it to the heights, basically. All right, so at the top of this ceiling, the whole thing is painted, in quotes again, it's very much like the murals, like the night sky. So you see twinkling lights up there, different intensities of lights and stuff, just like if you were outside looking at the night sky. In fact, if Mr. Andrews was here, he would find a striking similarity to the room in the lodge hall where you guys took your oaths to join up. Basically, they had this strange electric array of lights there, although this would be more detailed than that one. But really, the main thing that... What was that?
Oh.
The main thing that draws your attention upon entering the chamber is a huge statue towards the rear of the temple, and it stands to the very height of this, 60, 50 feet. And it has giant wings and great claws that are outstretched, and its head is bowed, looking down at an altar set at its massive feet. And you see the resemblance in the silhouette to what you saw in the murals, this figure that the builders, worshipped.
Yeah.
Got secret knowledge from. And the whole sculpture reflects like a dull green that has an appearance of wetness in your light as you approach it. So there, it's difficult to convey it with words. You're like, what a big sculpture. Yeah, who cares about that, right? I'll just look at it and I'll move on. But it, much like the background psychology of being in here where you feel like it's not a place for humans, it's built for somebody else, something else to worship. This is a whole separate line of belief that exists outside any that you know or have heard of, and it does not, like many other belief systems, seem to put you anywhere in the equation, much less the center of it. Now, what you see, this great dragon-like figure, a great dragon statue. Jackson, for his part, being the anthropologist that he is, he knows dragons are like a cross-cultural figure, And it makes sense. You look at them, they're feline, they're reptilian, they're bird-like. They're all predators, perhaps of an ancient evolutionary ancestor, and you combine them all up in one, and then you give them the power of fire, which is sometimes our enemy, but if we can harness it, it's very powerful. And this is this great mythical beast, and all the cultures have them, and it makes sense that they would too. Certainly they have their own predators, whoever they are. Mm-hmm. But unlike a dragon, there's something that this statue evokes in you that you can't quite put your finger on. But what it comes down to is, while the dragon is this blend of predators, a kind of meta-predator, put it all into one. This is everything we fear, and it can harm us. There's a layer beyond with what you see in front of you, and that is the causality trap. That you could kill the tiger, you can kill the alligators, you can harness the fire, but no matter how good a human gets at destroying their predators and pacifying their environment, you can't stop the little odd ends that when the blind idiot god at the beginning of the universe spat matter into being and all these stones are colliding. Sometimes a tree branch falls out of a tree and kills you. Mm-hmm. Sometimes a clot forms somewhere in your body and kills you. Sometimes your very line, the DNA has been written in such a way that it will mutate the same cancer over and over again, and nothing can be done in that. And there's something in this figure that conveys that even if you had the power to overcome the deity that this represents, would it die? When you kill a dragon, you get treasure, you get the maiden. This thing would just sleep, perhaps, because it can't die. It would just dream off your effects or your attempts to get rid of it. So as I said, it's crouched there, looking down at the altar at its feet. And it's such a dizzying sight. And like a causality trap, it sends your mind in a million different directions. Why did I come here? What was I ever thinking? You knew from day one that there'd be no paths of gold or pearls along the roadside. And yet you came anyways, like an arrow shot from somebody else's bow. And here you are standing before it, witnessing it. And it's breaking your sanity, perhaps. So let's get a sanity roll. Well done, Mr. Thompson.
Hard
Well
success.
done, Wentworth. Oh, Jackson failed.
Well, I did bring dynamite.
Oh, I do. Oh, nope. Ah. Huh? Aha. I
Are
do
you
have
rolling, Matt?
accents.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Trying to find it here. Sanity.
It rolls out a little different.
Normal
on the sheet.
or-
Yeah, just normal. So he failed.
No, you failed.
So all the NPCs failed.
All right.
I just have dang. Oh man.
So you take Jackson, I'll take Matt Vey, and then we'll sacrifice Cooper on that altar and see what happens.
Well, you won't be able to count on Thompson either for a little bit. He's going to take a point of damage. He might avoid his bout of madness. So the roll for those who failed, you only lose 1 point of sanity.
All right.
For those that succeeded, we'll throw a D8 their way. Oh, big 7.
For the ones that failed.
Yep.
All right.
Wait,
23.
You
The
said
ones
the
that-
ones that failed take 1 point, the ones that succeeded take 1d8?
No,
yeah,
sorry.
that was obviously a mistake.
Yeah, it's backwards. Sorry about
Okay,
that.
so
you,
one.
you and Thompson only take 1. Because of your underlying insanity, Mr. Thompson, even 1 point is enough to send you into another bout of madness. So you may roll your intelligence to see if you don't go into that.
Extreme
So
success?
this time you grasp it.
Did you? I think that's the one you want to fail, right?
Yeah.
But you definitely didn't fail it. You're like, I'm locked in. This is entropy incarnate. and I'm
This
here
is
for it."
happening.
This is real.
You want to roll Matt Vey's intelligence for me?
Oh, he's smart. Stanton should have killed him. Anytime I'm in control of Matt Vey, it doesn't matter how high those stats are.
Well, he's known since Dr. Sala drilled holes in his head. So he keeps it together.
I could have died so many times on the
Dude.
battlefield.
Jackson almost.
Besides the Professor Ahmed, there's only Wentworth, who you take that little chip, a slice off the top of your sanity. You know, it's still a statue at the end of the day, no matter what they try to tell you, no matter what your mind tells you, it's a shape in the dark.
Yeah.
And you know that 99% of the time, it's just nothing. But what lost you sanity was that powerful voice saying, there's still 1%.
This one
Yeah.
could
It can be.
I like Elias. Can I throw a luck his way? From
Sure.
Stanton?
Yeah, how close was he? Oh, 1
One
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The funny thing is him remaining somewhat sane through this might not be the better outcome.
Right.
Sometimes insanity is the best
It
buffer.
protects you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll take him back up to 71. Okay, so let's go down the list here. Starting with you, Mr. Thompson. You lost a point. You passed your intelligence roll with flying colors. Which makes sense because you've been reading the Liber Ivanus, and the Liber Ivanus spoke of many, sometimes they were referred to as great old ones. You think you had come to the conclusion that Sathagua was one worthy of such worship, but beyond even them, there were the elder gods, those that, spun the universe up to begin with, and they weren't the great all-loving, omnipotent beings that you read about or heard about in Sunday school. These were mindless creatures or creatures focused on one specific goal that was outside of human comprehension. So hold on a sec here. So the reason you take this hit and you have a bout of madness is because of that reading, and particularly you had read all of the spells that book offered and the comments that went along with them. And the one that this statue you think is representative of is what that book referred to as he who will come again. And even as your mind breaks again, you have Dr. Sala at your side with his arm over your shoulder, and he says, he is risen, he has come again, we did it, and he's looking at you with his open chest. But let's see what you do. We'll do a bout of madness. Significant person.
So he thinks he's very important. He brought this event about.
We got to go to Joseph Thompson's character sheet.
Oh, that. Okay.
To his backstory. War Buddy Jim.
I think that was one from last time.
What can you tell us about War Buddy Jim?
I mean, we were good pals. We went through our training together, boot camp, and he died almost immediately when we got over here. Because just couldn't keep his head down,
So yes, War Buddy Jim is there, and he, takes supremacy over Dr. Sala, who you didn't know very well, and he stands in front of you, and there he is with still showing the evidence of the grisly wounds that claimed his life, which were, he shelled.
He was shelled. He was also the one who had got me into the business of cells, as it was his dream to go back and visit the country, and that's why I've been doing it.
Mm-hmm. Well, he says, thank you, Joseph. You've brought me here too, and now all you have to do is bring everybody else, everybody you know and everybody you don't know. Bring them all home, Mr. Thompson. Mm-hmm. And he points, he's holding one of his hands that was blown off, and he holds out a hand holding that hand, which is pointing a finger at a like a darkened stretch at the other side of this temple. And it shouldn't be seen as like another way you can go in the temple, but more like a place where your light just stops and cuts off, like a dark portal, you think.
I'll ask him to tell me how and walk over to it.
He says all you got to do is walk.
Sounds nice.
So we'll freeze you there. So you're conversing with this fella and go down. So Jackson Elias, he remembers something Stanton told him in times like this. Just look for the big beastie. Remember, no matter how bad it gets, Jackson, just look for what you need to shoot. Something like that, which was just enough to keep him from losing his marbles. Which brings us to Curtis Cooper. Physical hysterics or emotional outbursts. All right. Another 4 rounds there. So he begins to say, I told you, Mr. Wentworth, but then he just, has some sort of emotional outburst. So like goes between laughing and crying, and he sinks to his knees, just pulling at his big ears, like not tearing them off or anything, but just, it looks like almost something a kid might do if they were overwhelmed with emotion, just to get something physical, a physical sensation to bring him home.
It might not be completely remiss to say that he's saying stuff like that. Why are you always so mean to me, Mr. Wentworth, or, stuff weird, just bouts of tantrum like that. Yeah.
Okay. And then Matt Vey failed his intelligence roll. So he always knew you were the arrow shot to come see this. He'd see it in his dreams. Sometimes he'd see it in the waking day. So he just stands in awe, although he can act normally. What did that take his sanity down to?
It's 23.
23? Yeah. So he's probably indefinitely insane at this point.
I see things more clearly than any other man alive. Except Mr. Thompson. He can see things clearly.
Okay, so we'll go to Mr. Wentworth. You're watching this all play out. Nobody's done anything yet. You suspect Curtis is going to stay on his knees, rocking back and forth, crying, laughing. But Thompson is taking the first step towards, somewhere. You haven't noticed this portion of the wall that he has. But well, here I'll roll the turn tracker.
Can Matt Vey see War Buddy Jim?
Yes, he can
Okay.
see all the dead.
I was just wondering because it could have been like a 2-staged thing.
Right. All right, so Curtis acts first, but he's not doing anything. So the professor, he's sort of shrunk, not quite to his knees, but you can see he's looking around with that good eye trying to find some place to escape. But then all of a sudden he stands erect, and with his ruined eye, his gaze is fixed directly on this strange dragon-like statue, which will bring us to Jackson.
All the white folks is dead. We're getting the hell up out of here.
And he comes up to, by your shoulder, and he's like, I don't know how much more we're all going to take. We're falling apart here, Mr. Wentworth. What are we doing?
I'm fine.
Well, me too.
For some reason.
Yeah, it's just a statue.
That reminds you all things are going to come to an end.
Except for it.
Yeah. But I'm not going to voice that.
But yeah, so he's asking you that, and you're watching Thompson start to stride towards
Yeah.
I would contest that sometimes that the dreamer is most at risk, and that all needs to happen here is for Zathagua to awaken. Who knows? Maybe that is his entropy.
Well, if Thompson starts moving, I'm going to, I can see that he's, got a goal, right?
Right, yeah.
He's not just wandering aimlessly.
And again, he's got one hand, held out like he's holding an invisible hand of somebody.
Yeah, so I'll move up alongside him and see if I can talk to him, Where are you going, Thompson?
All right, so I don't...
See something?
Because I've got to bring them all back.
Okay, good. Because I'm not... I don't like to wrest the control from you. Just know that you're a good war buddy, and he's telling you that's what to do, and you can act as you will. But also, your companion of the last few months, who you've been through an ordeal with, or through, is telling you, asking you a question. You can respond to that. So carry on. Just wanted to set that base layer.
Yeah, that is my response to him, is that I've got to bring them all back.
All who?
Everybody.
Back where? What are you talking about, Thompson?
Back here.
Snap out of it.
Because can't you see it? And I'll point to whatever this dark portal is. Say, all we've got to do is walk there. He said it's real
See
easy.
anything over there?
Yeah, you can see it when he points it out to you.
Oh, it's just
Yeah, it's like you can see your light illuminates the wall around it, but then there's a
Hole.
section of shadow, like a hole there
okay.
in the reality. And I should also say, out of the corner of your eye, you notice more of these displays, which you guys is what you're seeing in these murals, right? But that's just in the corner of your eye because you got more pressing things to deal with.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll keep pace with him until we get to that thing.
So yeah, so it's as you guys entered, it would have been like coming off to your right. So you had the statue ahead with the altar at its base. So following Thompson to the right to where this opening is, you see the strange alien symbols that Thompson knows to be Aklo, covering this sort of archway, and that's around the hole. It becomes visible as you approach, and it lights up. And he's going to go into seemingly shadow unless, you stop him.
Yeah, I'll stop.
Well, I do want to stop and look at the surrounding edges of it. Again, I know he said that I had to walk over here, but how does it work, right?
So you can't read it, but you are in such a state that your mind is open to the possibility of Aklo. So you have sort of a intuitive sense that this is just some powerful writing that keeps this gateway open. Not too dissimilar from the gate box that Malcolm had.
Mm-hmm. I was saying I was getting the temptation
Yeah.
to dynamite this.
So but it doesn't give you an indication of where it goes in that writing. It's more of like this is the permanent spell keeping this gate open to what's beyond it.
'Cause it's
Although you do see
doorway.
there's one proper noun in it, right? You think in this intuitive sense. And the word you get is Relie.
Mm.
Really, eh?
Yeah, like it's the destination, but you never heard of such a place. You don't think. Cthulhu Mythos. Roll.
Where is it? No, I don't think I have.
There's something familiar about the name, like maybe you read it a long time ago or something, but you don't know any of the details that would go along with the familiarity. You can give me an idea roll as you're standing before it, considering it.
I use the 3 luck.
Sure. So, you know, much like it's wrong for you to be down here, it's not a place for humanity. It predates humanity by a stretch. It would be even more wrong to go into that entryway, at least not without some type of preparation.
I don't.
But so I know
prepare
this
for-
through the madness.
Yes, you feel the wrongness of it.
Okay.
But you know, your war buddy Jim is there to assure you that all is well. He just keeps, whispering, "Bring him home, Joe. Bring him home."
I'll turn to Wentworth and say, I know that I shouldn't, but he keeps beckoning me in.
Hey, if these people knew what they were talking about, they probably wouldn't be dead, Thompson. Like, you and I are still alive. So, maybe we know something they don't. Maybe you shouldn't go through that.
But what if we
Whatever
could
that
bring
is.
them back?
We probably wouldn't even like most of them.
We killed him for a reason.
It's not for us to bring people back, It's not natural. It's not the natural order.
What is the natural order?
But I know that, these breaks don't last forever.
I mean, so far, yeah.
Normally, so far, right?
But in Thompson's case, he's been a little off since, which was hours ago at the campsite out in the desert.
He's had a tough day. He's all tuckered out.
He just needs a rest.
Yeah.
He shot a giant worm.
I mean, why don't we just, get a beat, take some time and think about this before we move through there.
Well, you can think about your decision for a minute, Mr.
we
Thompson. It's not cool.
Or I do feel
Go
that
ahead.
we shouldn't go through unless we're prepared. I just don't know how to prepare.
Yeah, see, exactly. We need to figure out how to prepare. This is a big place. Maybe there's something somewhere that'll tell us what we need to prepare.
Jim, what do I need to take?
You have everything you need.
I'm not ready yet.
Well, let me pause on you for a second and go over to Matvey. So, as we have hinted at, Matvey's third eye is open thanks to Dr. Sala, and he's seen many strange and mystical things, including the flow of the desert that brought you guys here. So he sees through like some mystical open window maybe, but also he's communed a bit with the idol of Sathagua, which has opened yet another window, not that Matvey can look outward, but that can look inward into Matvey. And so in a classroom at some undisclosed location, a certain professor can look through this window. He looks out the classroom window into the dim woods that surround it. This place that he's come to inhabit, did it belong to Sathagua? It doesn't really matter. What matters is you have learned some sort of mastery over it, and you're looking through Matvey as he's looking out to the world. So you, or Johann Mueller, sees this giant figure. Does he? I think I have a mythos on him. You can roll his mythos if you want to open his character sheet.
Yeah, sure. I think he's down at the bottom.
Should we take a break, Brandon?
No.
I was like, there he is. MIA Johann Mueller. Oh, his went up a bit. But it's still a failure.
Okay, so you do not know specifically
On that angles me.
who this figure is. In fact, this causes Johann a bit of despair, but in his now enhanced human way.
Enlightened.
His great hope is that the figure that would have a statue of this magnitude and greatness would be that of Sathagua, whose might and will you are ever a servant of. But it's not. That disturbs you that this temple is to somebody else. You would whatever happened to Sathagua at the end, with your comrades when they blew his earthly temple sky high, you know they didn't kill him, but for some reason he's gone on to other things. His eyes closed on that section of earth and he did something else, leaving you to carry on his good work, which you had been doing. So here's what Johann Mueller can do. When these guys commune with the idol of Sathagua, they opened, a two-way street to their mind, to your little classroom. And for now, you've just been looking out those windows, as dim as they are, seeing what they see, seeing their turbulent journey slowly to Irem, seeing Irem when they went into it and into this place. Clearly, a place not of this earth, now that you've seen its interior. But one thing you've kept yourself from doing is coming forward, stepping through the window and exerting control, although he may do that at any time. I will leave that in your decision-making for now, since you're controlling Matvey. If for some reason you want him to step to the front, he can, and then Matvey is a nice, fleshy vehicle for him to move around in.
All right.
But then again, so is Mr. Thompson.
Yeah.
And so is Mr. Wentworth. But you do know the will of the person involved can make it tricky. One of the reasons you didn't want to tip your hat, long time ago. So what should we do with Matvey? Will Johann look a while longer?
Yeah, but it's one of those where I think Johann, because I don't know his true machinations, those are lost to my mortal mind. I think Johann would be worried that almost all of the people that he can put any sort of influence on Earth are in one room together,
right
all losing their minds. So, yeah, he'll watch a while longer, and if it looks like they're going to start killing each other or start dying off, he'll try to exert some sort of force.
Well, there's a relative calmness to Matvey. He was in a way prepared to see this, unlike the others. So he's looking around, and you see through Matvey's eyes his vision sort of swing across this room. And as I had mentioned briefly, there were these displays, these murals. Instead of depicting any sort of history, although it is its own kind of history, it's the Earth. You see like repetitions of it, but there's variances between it. So I'll give a rundown as Matvey scans across it. It's like a heaven's eye view, like if you were suspended in space looking down at the Earth is what these murals project. The first one shows the world. You've heard of this as a professor. This was in your pre-Sathagua enlightenment. You knew of the concept of Pangea. So that first one's what you see, the supercontinent Pangea in the center of the viewpoint of Earth, but there is a smaller landmass in what would one day become the Pacific Ocean. And we hear, for those of us in the room with Johann, which is nobody, but he hears himself say, Mu. The lost continent, Mu. And, he was right.
Can Matvey, is he tuned in enough, or?
We'll say he'll hear. Matvey's the one who hears it. He just doesn't know who the voice belongs to.
I don't know how much control I have over Matvey, but he'd be kind of
you
weird.
You can do what you want.
Well, he'd be kind of thinking how it's weird that Joseph Thompson has all of these people known to him showing up,
right?
But none for him, and that's like worrying in some fashion.
Yeah.
Like, is there no afterlife or no one that cares for him?
Not for Russians.
But
Sorry,
then,
Matt.
like hearing Johann's voice he'd probably be like, "Who said that?"
Yeah. So one thing Johann can do in his time away is he's given a large amount of study over to understanding Aklo. So he can see on this landmass there are 3 names associated with it, written in Aklo, which isn't conveyed like reading a label. You can impress the language into the image, and then someone who understands Aklo understands it, right? So you don't actually see anything, but when you look at the smaller landmass that there are 3 names associated to the lost continent of Mu, and that's Kana Panape, Ye, and Rilye. And as a whole, these lands are called Mu, is what you're conveyed by that. There are also 2 unnamed cities shown in this Pangaea map. One is below water in what is now the Antarctic Ocean, and the other is on the southwest corner of Pangaea. Does Johan have geology? I'm almost convinced Matt Vey does not.
Well, I'm going to say he probably doesn't. He was more of a
Historical. And
historical and
anthropological.
oh man, why can't I remember the archaeology? There we go.
Right. Well, you could do archaeology at the hard level and go ahead and put a check if he does get these skill rolls. All right. Yeah, some detail you should have remembered, but if you didn't, it couldn't have been that important anyways.
I think Johan's getting angry, just all the stuff that he just almost as an oversight
Right.
ignored or forgot to learn.
So the next Merle you see in Advance in Time, it shows that Pangaea is slightly altered, but the majority of Mu is now gone from the map. Kana Panape still remains above water, but Ye and Real Ye are below the waves, although their locations are still given. And in the center of Pangaea, an area is marked with the same symbol that was marking one of the cities earlier, although you didn't have the mythos to pull it up. Although something whispers in the back of your head and it says Velusia, and then you shudder a bit, just like a what do you call it, like a reflex action, because you know that means serpent people. When you move on to the next one, there's a great east-west crack that appears across Pangaea. This Velusia is plunged beneath the waves. Good.
No.
And let's see, a separate landmass, which will, you think, become the Antarctic and Australia, has broken away from the supercontinent and is heading south. The lands of Mu are still shown resting below the waves. Then the fourth one, Pangaea, is now fragmented into 8 continents, loosely clustered together. 7 of the 8 are recognizable to even a school child at this point. The 8th, you're unsure of.
All right.
And then you move on to the 5th one, which shows the continents almost in their present positions, with that eighth one still there. It's somewhere between Europe and North America. In the far south of the Antarctic, a new huge mountain chain is shown. It's like erupted from the earth there. And then the 6th one shows a global ice age gripping the world. You can do an education roll for him there.
Johan or Matt Vey?
Johan. Oh, you got it.
He better.
Mm-hmm.
So this is probably from a, like a millions of years ago type of ice age, not the little ice age or the ones, 10,000 years ago or so. So which brings us to the last one, the second to last. It shows a small continent south of that strange one in the Atlantic, and off the coast of this landmass is a smaller island, but you can read the ACLO on that one that says Atlantis.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
And then the 8th and final Merle is the world roughly as it appears in the early 20th century. So that 8th continent is below the waves, with the only part of it remaining above water is some part of Greenland. It used to connect together a little bit. Atlantis has disappeared, and their position on the ocean in this map is no longer shown. The last remnants of Mu are also below the waves now, joining Ye and Real Ye, but their locations are still marked. How's his navigation?
Johan's?
Yeah.
Non-existent, I believe. 10.
10? Well, go ahead and give it a roll.
Give it a whirl.
What about occult? Is there anything that I could do occults
We'll
with?
do it at the hard.
Hard.
Nice.
Oh, does he get a checkpoint?
Yes.
Mm-mm. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, so this marks it about east of New Zealand. You don't know how many miles east. You didn't get that kind of information, but you recognize through some of the ACLO descriptions of these continents and the areas that are through your occult knowledge, right? You get like
circles or areas of power that were.
It's kind of like triangulating it. So in one, you see something that was important to the indigenous folk of New Zealand. And in another part of the triangle, you see like the Easter Island heads, that sort of thing. And then another part of the triangle, you see these Peruvian sun god. His name escapes me at the moment, but we talked about a bit in the second season. So yeah, you're pulling on these this occult knowledge, and it kind of gives you a triangle, but not any sort of exact distance of where it is with that one. So that's pretty much the whole story that these depict.
Okay.
And he's looking at that, and
So if we walk through that, we're going to be under the water, right?
according to
I mean, that's,
Johann Mueller.
Yeah. And that's
Or
what,
if,
that's something I was going to like kind of push forward towards Matt Vey is that symbol on that door represents this or shares this symbol with this island.
yeah.
And it is sunk underwater, apparently.
Yeah, we're going to need some goggles, some snorkels.
Which brings us around to Mr. Thompson.
This relay is underwater.
So you still have your friends and the dead urging you to bring us home, Joe, bring us home. But Wentworth is cautioning not to bring anybody home. That would be a bad idea. And your own DNA is trying to survive, and it's saying, hey, you can't just go into any place dark without a light. And since this darkness blocks your light, you need to find a light that will work. Prepare yourself. That little survivor instinct in you's saying, what are you going to do? You got 3 rounds of madness left after this one.
Well, I need to find a light. So if we can find that, then we'll be ready to go. And I'll tell Wentworth that he needs to help me find a light that will penetrate the darkness.
Yeah, that's good. I like where you're thinking. I'm glad to hear you're finally talking sense. Let's,
and then we'll bring them all
look
back.
somewhere else for a light. Yeah. Yeah, let's look in this other direction. I'll sort of try to arm hook him and
Yeah, over...
maybe there's something over there. Maybe there's something in Chicago that we could find.
Matt Vey will look at the map murals, trying to find.
Trying to find some detail that he missed.
No, he Wentworth said something about Chicago, so he'll be trying to figure out where Chicago is, but he doesn't know the states. So
Right.
Thompson already snapped.
All right, Thompson, what are you going to do?
Well, I gotta find the light.
What's your ideas for finding a light?
Well, there's gotta be something in here that can provide us with that light. So everybody needs to start looking.
Yeah, start looking around for a light.
Jackson gives you a quizzical look, and he holds up his lantern.
No, it's got to be like a special light.
Right.
I'll ask him to bring it over. Let's come over and see if it'll pierce this darkness.
It needs to be a really Aeon light.
So you have Ibrahim and Adimu are standing there to either side of the archway that leads into this dark thing. They're headless corpses, right? Still doing that whistling chorus out of their necks. And you also have Professor Ahmed going up to that altar you see over Thompson's shoulder. He's walking towards the altar that is the base at the causality dragon's feet. And but Mr. Thompson, so War Buddy Jim is like, haven't you ever noticed, Joe, that the people who don't have eyes see the best? And he gestures at Adimu and Ibrahim and the professor with, he's one maimed eye to Thaddeus,
Even potentially Matt Vey's
Right.
blind eye that's in his forehead. Yeah. This is true.
I'll ask the professor. The professor came with us, right?
Yeah, he's walked off maybe 15 feet. Like you can turn around and see him behind you. He's walking towards the altar that's at the base of the dragon.
All right, I'll go and catch up with him and ask him if his eye can pierce this darkness.
So he regards you with the ruined eye, the one that looks like it was clawed out at some point in the past, and it healed badly. And he says, "There's no light that can pierce that darkness. You must all come
see
with
through
me."
it.
No. What darkness? Are you referring to that over there?
Is he pointing towards the portal?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
There is no light, as I said. That is his domain. You would perish if you went there.
Who?
You would. All of us would. I would.
So you can see.
Yes, I can see.
Then let's go. And I'll grab his arm and start trying to pull him that way.
Okay.
Johann
and I'll
will
call
try
out
to-
that Wentworth is the professor's eye can pierce the darkness. He can see.
So yeah, for that round, he had walked over and grabbed the professor, who's looking a bit shocked. I mean, as near as you can tell, because he regards people with an eye that's not there. But shocked, perhaps, or offended in the way somebody dining at a fine restaurant would be if the serving staff decided to grab them and lead them somewhere. Like, what are you doing? Is how he's looking at Thompson at the moment. But that ticks us down finally. Oh, what? I must have put -4 on there. That's not going to do. Sorry, half a sec. All right. Which Curtis rocks back and forth, tugging at his ears, and the professor will be his action. So give me a power roll, Thompson.
Can you spend luck on power rolls?
Yeah, let me get his out there so you know if that's what you want to do.
Oh, no. I'm good.
Okay, so basically intense racking pain seizes you, and your face and hands immediately begin to blister and drip fluid, and your eyes are clouded with blood. And the pain is so intense that you pretty much all thought flees your head, including the madness, and you're just writhing there in pain. You were watching this, and he's dragging the professor along, and the professor's like, no. And he kind of does this, and then suddenly Mr. Thompson's writhing around, and he looks at you, and his face is bubbling, right? So luckily for you, you're immune to gross injury,
Right.
as far as that goes. But yeah, it's Jackson's turn. We'll say he's yet aware. He's peering at the darkness, trying to. Well, he knows what everybody knows, which is we're not going to do that. Really, we're not going to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that brings us to you, Wentworth.
Well, so I'll tell the professor to, stop whatever it is you're doing to him.
He will be okay soon.
He's not.
It was the best way I could think to stop him.
Okay, well, can you make sure his face doesn't melt off?
He will recover in time.
All right.
Now,
It is kind of like an eldritch slap.
we are here for a reason, Mr. Wentworth.
And that
You must
reason
attend me.
is-
Come, I will show you.
Okay. Just don't make my face melt.
Don't do anything stupid, and I won't.
Okay.
So yeah, he's holds his hand out towards this altar, and he's come with me. But that puts him in such a position that his good eye is not looking at you. It's just that eye socket. Will you follow him?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys walk off in that direction. Brings us to Matt Vey.
I was going to. Never mind. He'll go over and he'll help Thompson.
Yeah. Johann recognizes that it was a spell. I mean, he doesn't know, but he's read of it. It's one that causes the most horrible damage with the least amount of harm. It's like what it was designed to do, right? It was a different entity's version of a prank they might play on somebody, right? It wasn't meant for humans to use on each other, but when the professor says he'll be okay in time, he will be.
Okay.
But that's a curious thing for Johann, that somebody is here who knows that.
Yeah. And Matt Vey's kind of at a loss. Like, he doesn't really quite know what to do, but he knows he was brought here.
Yeah.
He doesn't quite trust a bunch of people, dead people he doesn't know, but I guess I kind of leave that up to you on that. But he will ask the mysterious voice, as it's the only one that seems to be talking to him at all, which is like, if I was brought here for a reason, what do you want me to do? So he's asking that to Johann. I'll leave you to,
Right.
while he helps up, or sees to Thompson.
Well, Johann says to go closer to the altar, we'll say, for now.
All right.
Not the opening to really.
Surprise.
Explicitly, I say, do not go there.
All right, so he'll check on Thompson real quick and then make plans to do that.
Okay. Yeah, so you see Thompson's just writhing there, and Thompson, for your part, that's what is occurring. Like, all you can feel is this blinding pain that has not yet begun to subside. So it basically puts you out of commission for that round.
Okay.
So the professor walks you up to this altar, Mr. Wentworth, where you see it's the same sort of stone that this dragon is built out of, this greenish stone that has the impression of being wet when your light, reflects off it. There's sort of a glistening to it. You don't know if it actually is. The surface isn't. And he points to this altar here, and you can see there's an indentation in it.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, this is why you were brought here. It's like there would have been something there, but it is no longer.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He says, many, many centuries ago, I removed this, and I broke it, and I spread it to the four corners of the earth, so that none may find it and call forth he who will come again. But there are those who seek to find it.
What is it?
It's a way of bringing him back.
No, I mean...
Oh, it's a disc-shaped indentation there, right?
Oh, okay.
Like you think, it's difficult to get the construction of it. Like you don't think it's mechanical, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. You don't know how the murals display the images they do, because it's obviously not paint, except for that one, like you're looking at it, like maybe you could put something in there and it would unlock something. You're not sure, right?
Yeah.
But as far as you can tell, just at a surface glance, it looks like just a place you would fit a disc, like a big, foot in diameter disc.
Like a sundial or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. And you broke it?
A long time ago. Cast it into the seas. I thought surely it would never return, but I should have known better.
Well, who has returned it?
There are those who have worshipped him since the dawn of humanity, and they worship him still.
And have they found the pieces?
Perhaps so.
So what should we do about that?
You have to stop it.
You don't like him?
Who?
He who will return.
Do you like him?
I don't know him, but I'm not centuries old.
Well, a long, long time ago, I wrote what I thought would be a guide. It was intended as a warning for what was to come, not a tool to help bring it about, but that the latter is what it has become. And these worshippers, this Malcolm perhaps, that you've contended with, may be one. They seek to put it back, to bring his coming sooner.
Why? What would they gain?
Favor, they think. They don't know that such a creature does not dispense favor that way. It's a very narrow-minded view. But I didn't bring you here. I shouldn't word it that way. Somebody brought you here. Who has knowledge of this that would send you here?
Well, Lord Stourton, perhaps?
Right.
He's the one who hired.
And you felt a compulsion from this man to come here?
No, he offered the job
Lots
to
of money.
my benefactor who sent me in his stead.
Who is your benefactor?
Dr. Andrews of Boston.
How well do you know him? Could he be one
He
who
did.
worships?
No.
How certain are you?
I'm as certain as you can be about anything. It's not in his character.
Well,
No, it had to have come further up from him. It had to have been Lord Stourton who set him on that path. And then he sent me. It's the only thing that makes sense.
all right, we'll cut away from you for now. Over to Jackson, who's still looking at this opening, although he's cast his gaze over to you where you've walked up to this altar. And now we'll come back to Matvey. You've trailed behind. And I should say that when you look through Matvey's eyes, as I've described, there's a general presence of sand on the base layer, right? You can see underneath it where it's swirled a little bit that it's metal in its construction, but the sand has drifted down through the crack or other openings. And it's pretty uniform, except for you where you guys have walked. But in this sand, he can see the swirling of this current, like he's seen out in the desert, flowing towards the altar, and conversely towards the archway opening into darkness. But Matvey gets up in time for him to sort of overhear whoever's speaking, this Professor Ahmed.
Yeah, I was going to ask if Johann could have switched his perception without being known.
Unless he fails terribly in the process of doing it. I mean, there's always a chance, but it's pretty low with Matvey.
Well, I was going to see if Johann could have jumped to Wentworth.
Oh, okay.
To get that conversation.
Yeah, you can definitely try that. So you need to overcome his power.
That might be kind of hard.
Yeah, what is Wentworth's power? You have a sense of the, what makes up power when you get that connection with him. So you know who the prime marks are and who aren't.
Yeah, the one I avoid is Thompson.
Yeah. Ultimate power.
What's Wentworth's power?
60, 70?
Yeah, he's slightly above me, so I guess he'd kind of be pouting in his classroom and having to wait for Matvey to get over there.
Yeah, Matvey does get up enough in time for you to hear coming through that window. You're looking out through what appears to be a physical window in the classroom, but it's, Matvey's perception. So you hear this distant talk. You come into somebody must have sent you, else you wouldn't be here type of part of the conversation, Mm-hmm. This alluding to whoever is up at the top wanted you here, and you hear, it's not really an argument, but a suggestion from Professor Ahmed that Dr. Andrews knew of this and sent you here for this reason, but Wentworth saying no, it had to be Lord Stourton.
Dr. Andrews is not as intelligent as others would, I'm trying to mix Russian and German, as he would lead others to believe. He did not even know of the mythos when he, wait a sec, do I know that? Yeah, sorta. He went to Peru.
There is something in this professor's story that...
the professor knows Stourton. They were friends, right?
Right, but you've gotten the sense that sometimes it's not the professor, right? There's a different personality almost. But, and this one doesn't seem to speak as though he knows Lord Stourton. He speaks as somebody who's lived for centuries. But you hear, Johann hears this little snatch about how he wrote something that was supposed to be a warning, but was instead used as a guide, right? So you can do another mythos. We'll give a bonus to it, though.
All right.
This is a pretty big one.
Sorry, bonus.
-1.
Would that be the 99? What would that be? No, because it would be 9, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? It'd be 0?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's sort of weird. I've never seen that.
4?
Yeah. Sound extreme. So you know immediately from all your research and the time that you've stopped being a player and you've started being a crazy NPC servant of Cthulhu, you've done vast research to try to understand his will, to enhance your power, to solve a problem. Cthulhu solved it for you in a way. Your aging, decrepit body has been strengthened and empowered, but it's grotesque for humans sometimes to look at. And you have a hunger that you can't get around, they were clued onto it by your grumbly belly. But anyhow, where was I going? Oh, yeah. So you've heard, and you kind of, Johann gasps another involuntary reaction, and he's like, it couldn't be Al-Azif.
Yeah.
It couldn't be the Necronomicon.
Yeah. I think Johann will maybe pressure Matvey to ask who his name, or maybe even say it, are you Al-Azif?
Yeah, his name is Abdul Al-Azrid.
Yeah, that's
when Matvey. Al-Azif is the initial, what would become the Necronomicon, what he wrote.
Yeah, I saw the writer then.
Yeah. And so he says, my name is Al-Azrid, or Abdul Al-Azrid.
The Mat Arab.
And we'll cut there on that group, and we'll zoom our camera very quickly out to the desert where Charles Stanton is overseeing the journey back to their encampment in Irem. So 1 sec here. All right, I put you back on that map. Let me know when you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
So your journey, you don't really have much of a choice as far as you know, unless you go. Well, you didn't
Far
even know.
afield.
It was all surrounded by these rocks, right? But your journey takes you naturally with the camels down these ravines, and as you're traveling, you're feeling the tremors in the earth again. And give me a spot hidden roll.
Hard success.
Okay, so you're looking up at the sides of this, in this little canyon you're traveling in, into the rock parts of it, right? And you have a knack for picking out landmarks, ways of differentiating how certain natural formations look from one another. It's what makes you such a good navigator. And you just in the back of your head, like a machine that makes notes of this because you've been doing it so long, you had certain outcroppings picked out. But you've noticed as you're traveling along, you're in this ravine, that there have been several rock slides on the sides of the ravine up ahead. And when you look into the sandier floor that you're traveling on, that the camels are going down ahead of you're usually at the lead of these. You see, like sand, you can't differentiate it from any other, but you see it sort of move a little bit. And that's where we'll stop playing for today. Thanks for playing, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. I got it. Might as well roll it. Damn it.
Getting closer.
I don't remember where that actually came from. I almost wonder if I forgot to uncheck it last time. I don't remember.
This has been a Deathwatch production. Thank you for listening.